YouTube, so we are with the wife's 2020 Subaru Ascent. We're doing an oil change on it today. So we usually take this car into the dealership to get oil changes and everything. I think we had like 5 or 6 free when you bought it from the dealership and everything. And we are beyond that. The car has like 40,000 miles on there. So we're gonna do the oil change ourselves today. We're also going to be using a K&N filter here that we got from the local auto parts store. So the oil we're using here is the Kirkland brand, 020 synthetic. Please note, it's got that Starburst mask here from the ILAC whatever people. And then also on the back, it has an API service rating of SP. That's something to, and then it also says resource conserving there on the bottom. That's something to pay close attention to. Flipping over to this, handy dandy owner's manual here, it says to use only Subaru approved oils, and if they're unavailable, to look for an oil grade with an API service rating that says resource conserving with a grade of SN. Ours is SP. Now, because P is later in the alphabet than N, it is backwards compatible, but these ratings aren't forward compatible. So if you have a vehicle that calls for SP, you're not able to use an SN. However, if you have SP, like the Costco brand does, it will work with SN+, SN, and everything backward. It's good oil. And then we also have the symbol and everything as well, which basically means, well, you can read the owner's manual. Okay, so this is basically like the second or third time that I've ever had the hood popped on this car. I know it's got the FA24 motor, which is, supposedly the one everyone wants, turbocharged and all the rest of it. Just looking around here, I'm seeing we might be a little low on coolant levels. I'm seeing that this battery, I got corrosion on there that we're gonna get taken care of. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we bought the car brand new. I thought the engine bay would have stayed cleaner, but obviously not. Looks like our brake fluid is low too, which is weird. Anyway, we might need brakes on it. We haven't done any of that in 40,000 miles. So, but basically, what you're gonna want to do is check the engine oil level. There's your dipstick. And the engine oil filter and the fill spot is just conveniently located here for you. So I'm gonna go down underneath it. I haven't even crawled underneath this car. Let's see if we can find the drain plug. Hopefully I don't have to take off a million skid plates. Hey, look at that. There is a little hole. And this one right there appears to be our drain plug. So you're gonna need a 14mm wrench or socket to get that bolt out. When you empty that oil at the bottom, you're gonna wanna make sure that everything up top is open. Pull your dipstick tube out and everything. The reason why is while that oil is dripping out the bottom, you can create a vacuum towards the upper parts of the motor. Which will hold oil, so you don't want to do that. It'll also take a few minutes longer for your engine to completely empty out with oil. This is on here a little tight. Good heavens. All right, I'll get that off. 40,000 miles. If you look on the back of that, let's see if I can get that to focus. That oil pan. Something's leaking back there. Probably the paint gasket. So, lovely, right? Okay, so got the oil cap off. I had to get a monkey wrench and grab hold of it that way and, twist it. It's really unusual why that was on so tight. And then I got a band wrench and broke this loose. The thing I like about these Subaru motors and everything is you don't have to go digging or hunting for, that oil filter. It's just right here on top, super easy access. You can, we got a band wrench, put it on there. I'm not sure if there's a torque spec on this, but I have always learned that you want this on, pretty tight, snug. Rule of thumb is just, as tight as you can get it with your hand. This was on a little bit tighter than what I could do with a hand, and I'll probably put it on just a little bit tighter as well, just to stay consistent.
But what's nice about this is you can take this oil filter out. The oil that's in the filter will drip into this little tray that it sits into, and that will just go back down in the motor. You can get a piece of paper towel, shop rag, just clean all that out. So there we go. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to put some oil on this rubber gasket here. The reason why is if you don't, it's going to get stuck. You know, the engine gets real hot, this will melt onto it, and then you'll have a real fun time trying to get it off. So basically what I do is I just dip a finger in that oil and just run it along the, filter here. Let's see if I can't get this phone set up here. Oil on the finger. And we're gonna screw it on. This K&N filter is nice because you don't need a band wrench. Well, I'll probably still use the band wrench, but it's got that like socket thing on top I could use if need be. All right, so I got that on there as tight as I can. Next thing to do is put that oil plug back in and fill her up with oil. Make sure you have this little washer on there, on that drain plug. All right, so owner's manual says put 4.5 quarts in there. I had a 5-quart jug. I put just over 4 quarts into it, and I'm gonna tune it out. Well, I'm gonna fill it up the rest of the way here in a minute. What I typically like to do is when you get it close, get the engine running, you know, so the oil circulating through it, fills up the filter and all the rest of it. And this is a tip. Like another thing I'd like to do is just watch the oil filter and make sure it's not leaking. This is really easy to see. It's not leaking all the way around. It's nice and dry. So yeah, I'll rev it up a few more times, shut it off, and come back in a few minutes to check the oil level. If this video helped you out with your car at all, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Free.